top 5 richest Asian countries by 2030. Number 5. Japan. Japan is an island country in East Asia. It is the 11th most populous country in the world. Japan is a highly developed country and a great power in global politics. Japan's economy, which is currently the third largest in the world in terms of GDP, PPP at $6.1 trillion, grew by a relatively underwhelming 1.3% in the second quarter of this year, though the expansion was better than expected as domestic demand and foreign investment remained steady. Nonetheless, the country's economy is expected to perform relatively poorly over the next 11 years. An aging population and a shrinking workforce are to blame. In 2030, a sizable 30% of the population will be 65 or older, up from 17% in 2000. As a result, Japan's economy is expected to be Asia's fifth largest in 2030, down from position 3, with a GDP of $7.2 trillion. Number 4. Turkey. Turkey, officially the Republic of Turkey, is a transcontinental country located mainly on the Anatolian Peninsula in Western Asia, with a small portion on the Balkan Peninsula in Southeast Europe. Turkey is a regional power and a newly industrialized country with a geopolitical advantage. Its economy is classified as an emerging and growth-leading economy. Following a rather prolonged period of economic downturn, Turkey's economy is experiencing an impressive rebound. The country's GDP currently stands at $3.32 trillion. This places the country 11th in the world. Turkey's economy is expected to surge in a similar manner to Egypt's due to favorable demographics and other factors, including increased foreign investment, as of now. All of this means that Turkey will be Asia's fourth largest economy in 2030, with a GDP of $9.1 trillion. Number 3. Indonesia. Indonesia is a country in Southeast Asia between the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Indonesia is the world's largest archipelagic state and the 14th largest country by area, at 1,904,569 square kilometers. With over 275 million people, Indonesia is the world's fourth most populous country and the most populous Muslim-majority country. The Indonesian economy, which is the largest in Southeast Asia, is expected to grow by a very healthy 5.2% in 2019 and 2020, rising to 5.3% during the early 2000s as domestic demand remains strong. The country's economy is currently the 7th largest in the world in terms of GDP, with $3.7 trillion. If Standard Chartered's prediction comes true, Indonesia's economy will be the third largest in Asia by 2030, with a GDP of $10.1 trillion. Indonesia, like the other top 10 emerging market success stories, has a young population and a growing workforce. Number 2. India. India, officially the Republic of India, is a country in South Asia. It is the 7th largest country by area, the second most populous country, and the most populous democracy in the world. The Indian economy is expected to grow by 8.2% this year, with a GDP PPP of $11.5 trillion, and by another 6.5% in 2023. In fact, India is expected to have the world's fastest growing economy, with the rising working population, combined with economic reforms and increased investment, doing wonders for the country's finances. Indeed, India is on track to overtake China as the world's second largest economy. The country's GDP PPP will reach $46.3 trillion by 2030. In comparison to this year's figure, that's £37.6 trillion. That's a 303% increase. Number 1. China. China is the world's most populous country, with a population exceeding 1.4 billion people, and it is the world's third biggest country by territory. In 2016, China surpassed the United States as the world's largest economy in terms of GDP. The figure for this year is $27.3 trillion. Despite the fact that the IMF has reduced China's growth prospects due to the escalating trade war with the United States and falling domestic demand, growth is still expected to level out at a very respectable 6% in 2020 and 2021. If the experts at Standard Chartered are correct, China will have cemented its position as the world's largest economy by 2030, with a massive GDP PPP of $64.2 trillion, putting America's economy firmly in the shade.